which is what are the objectives of meditation? Why do people do it? What can I achieve with meditation if I do it? And some of it is something we already looked at in what is meditation, but the other aspect of that we are going to look at in this section, which is what is you can achieve and what are some of the benefits. So this objectives would also translate into benefit. So we'll try to address these questions. So what are the objectives of meditation? The first one is improving your physical being. There are numerous studies out there, scientifically proven methods, scientific studies proving that meditation has many benefits. It impacts us highly on physical level as well, even though meditation is a practice which is largely considered mental, even though meditation has a physical aspect as well. There are some practices, techniques that are physical in nature we can follow to achieve the same results. So the objective of meditation, or why you should be meditating, is improving your physical being. One thing, if you want to focus on improving yourself, is improving your physical being. If you are looking to do that, meditation is something that is for you. You should use meditation, because when you meditate, it improves your physical cognition. If I say it improves concentration, that will be an understatement, right? We all know what it does to concentration. When our physical cognition improves, which is our thinking process, the way we react to the physical world, it happens through concentration. So concentration is something that guides our physical improvements as well. Not just mental improvement, not just spiritual improvement, but physical improvements as well. The other objective, if you want to improve your physical health, meditation is really good for that. Again, there are many studies, scientific studies, and I'm referring to scientific studies because many people are scientific, they are analytical, they think from what could be seen, observed, or proven, and that is where science come in. Science is all about proving things, repeatedly doing the same thing and getting predictable same outcome, and that is what we are trying to do when we say that meditation or some of the benefits of it has been proven scientifically. Physical health, whether you talk about examples of energy healing, Reiki, or you talk about example of earlier times when there were specific hospitals or centers where people were healed just by energy without even touching the person, or you talk about that example that I shared earlier of a hospital in China where they do not even touch person and even heal something as much as cancer from the body. And there are different places in India as well, and not just India and China. There's so many places across the globe. But does that mean that every person who's doing Reiki or every person who's doing this energy healing is as competent? No. It is as good as someone going through studies. Does everyone get the same level of marks? Does everyone have the same level of understanding or skills? No. Even if 10 people study in the same course, not many would be at the same level. Almost everyone would be at different level of capabilities, understanding, and skills. Same is with the energy healing, physical health aspect as well. But even if you do not look at the physical health of energy healing or aspect of physical health aspect of energy healing or Reiki or some other method, where someone is trying to heal, you can do it on your own. And that is where we have this interconnection with law of attraction. What we think, we become. Our thoughts becoming reality. If you change the way you think, you will be able to make changes to your physical being as well. Trust me, people have also been able to change their appearance using law of attraction. And I'm not saying that you should all try to do that. I'm just saying that people can change the appearance as well. When it comes to health, it is far more deeper. It impacts quite a lot. And meditation is something that can help you improve your health on your own without going to doctors, without relying on medications. If you want to improve your memory, meditation is good for that. It helps you remember quite a lot. It helps you remember things that you don't even remember right now. And we'll look at that aspect a little later on. So that if that is your objective, meditation is something good for you. If you want to expand your attention span, you can concentrate maybe on something for some time. Every one of us has attention span. And I'm seeing a chat. Lori, I don't understand what you mentioned here in Italian. How to change your appearance? Oh yeah, so that may be one of the topics we can discuss in one of the meetings. There are techniques one can follow, but eventually it comes to belief and restricting or removing the thoughts, limiting beliefs. So attention span, we all can concentrate for some time, but we all have different attention spans. We can improve that attention span. We can be concentrated on something for a longer time, whether it is for studies, it is for profession, it is to pay attention to your own thing so that you don't get bored, you keep yourself occupied. You can use attention span for many things. So one of the objective, if that is attention span, meditation is good for you. Immunity, when we are talking about physical health could be proactive approach or reactive approach. Immunity is something that is more proactive, that stops you from falling sick, from going through something that you have gone through. If you are having problem with sleep, meditation is good for you. It helps how you sleep. It cures the problem of insomnia, and that is something, all of it is something you will find in the studies that have been done on meditation. Each of the items that you see here listed, you'll find study. It is finding backed by studies, scientific studies. So it improves your insomnia. It increases your pain thresholds. It makes you less reactive to certain things, or takes time for you to react. Anti-aging. It may be another topic many people might be interested in, but trust me, it is quite big. It is quite big. So another benefit is anti-aging. It helps improve relationship. It actually helps remove relationship as well, because when people are not adding value, when people are too negative or troubling you, if you are stuck in some kind of situation, some families, some surroundings, meditation helps you get out of that as well. So it improves and removes. relationship in that aspect. And not to mention, when all of that happens, it helps you improve your personality, not just the appearance, how you perceive things, how you react or interact with the physical world. So that was being physical. The second improvement or objective is mental. If you are looking to improve your mental cognition, again, thinking about or changing the way you think, process information, if you think you react too much or too quickly, or you have addiction, or you give into your temptation too quickly, something meditation can help you. If your objective is to improve your cognition, mental cognition, meditation is a tool for you. Concentration, of course, we have seen that in physical being, but also mental concentration as well. So it is your mind supporting the body now. Mental health, like we can improve our physical health, you can improve your mental health. At times we are guided by the questions that we have, the problems that we have, curiosity, inquisitiveness. We have too many questions, we try to find answers, we try to get to somewhere very quickly, we try to find new ways of doing things. And I'm not saying all of that is bad, but that relates to your mental health. What decides between someone who is giving up versus who's not giving up? Is that physical strength, physical health? Maybe at times, but it is your mental health. Again, something scientifically proven. We all discussed in earlier meetings the aspect of second breath for runners. When they get tired, they actually have a second breath and they are able to continue. And you would see the marathon runners experiencing that. Similarly, there are some people who have even written their own account of lives where they increase their pain threshold by just thinking that they can absorb more pain or they can go faster, they can go further. And based on that study, it says that when your mind says you are done, you should give up, there's so much of pain or you want to collapse or thing like that, you are only at 40% of your entire ability. Why do mind do that? Because its primary function is to save you, to stop you from exhaustion. That is why all the physical activity we do which are tiring, we have to first convince ourselves to do it, unless we are really interested in something like sports, running, dancing, because we don't even see the pain that we go through. Our attention is somewhere else, so you trick your mind. So mental health is something that improves memory. So how it is different from your memory? One is your physical memory with your physical senses, but it is your mental memory as well. Even though I kind of covered the mental aspect of memory in the physical being, I actually wanted to cover on the physical memory where it enhances your um, like hand-eye coordination or your muscle memory basically. So similarly, you can improve your mental memory here. Other objective, and I'm probably going to go a little faster, otherwise we'll be um, behind. We are on second question now. We have 8 questions to answer, and types of meditation will take some time. So let me go a little quickly. I hope you guys don't mind that. So self-awareness about who you are, who you really are. Are you this person? Do you look like this? Or you are different? If you want to understand that, meditation is for you. Or not just who you really are, getting much deeper in spirituality, but understanding yourself, like the things that you really like, the thing that you should be doing, rather than someone telling you, do you know what? I've seen you not doing things like this. This is the pattern you follow. So you actually are a person who is a visual person, and you say, oh yeah, this is right. I never thought I am like that, but you're right. I am a visual person. So information like this will come to you automatically, so you will know what kind of a person you are, what kind of learning methodology or method works for you. Immunity, your mental immunity, which is far more greater than physical immunity. Mental immunity relates to depression, anxiety, limiting beliefs, doubts, fear, all all such negative things, and I'm just using the term negative, that influences our mind negatively. So building immunity for that is another objective. It When we do that, it improves our mental threshold to take tensions, pains, think differently without getting impacted, be indifferent. Something we discussed in the earlier meeting: apathy, neutrality, and acceptance. You know what to do in each of these situations. I think immunity is listed again, so apologies for that typo. Creativity, it helps you become more creative, and you'll understand a little later on how it improves. It helps you realize so many things helps you think differently, innovatively about things. Many of the leading people that you see that are top of their world or top of their areas, they do meditation, some form of meditation, and that is when they realize so many different ideas, so many new ways of doing things. Whether you talk about Thomas Edison, Einstein, Aristotle, Picasso, uh, Frank Sinatra, whoever you talk about, even now, whoever you talk about, who are the richest people or who are considered to be the best in the world, they do that. And meditation is one technique they follow to get new ideas. And finally, it helps you. And when I say finally, again, it is not finally, at least in the lists that we have. There's much more many benefits that we are not listing here. But helps you get solutions to your problems. All the questions that you have, you get answers inside. Even though we look for answers outside, you get the answers inside. That is why meditation is rated so highly. And finally, it improves your spiritual being. Like physical and mental cognition, it improves your spiritual cognition, which is your understanding of the spirit, the soul that is in you, your connection with the universe, the world before and after this world, or during this world, in fact, as well. It helps increase awareness of the subconscious mind. We all have subconscious mind, but how many times we use that efficiently? Don't we always struggle to form new habits or try to change some old habit and say, unless you reach your subconscious mind, you will not be able to do it? Meditation is a practice that helps you do it. Connection to the universe we spoke about. We'll look at it a little differently little later on. But it helps understand the connection to universe. Who are you in this universe? What role do you play? If you want to understand that, you will meditation will help you understand. You want to understand the entire universe, what the universe is. Why do we have so many planets? Why do we have so vast a universe where we are all residing in one planet and we are not even 0.001% of the entire space that we have? What is there out there? Or is there something else? You will get that understanding as well. Your spiritual awareness. Beyond this body, who you really are. Are we the only ones in the entire universe? Are there different life forms? How do we interact with them? You will have that understanding of spiritual world. And when I say spiritual, consider it also for easy understanding spirit or a soul. Probably that will make the understanding a little easier, because spiritual is another term people use for different things. Getting rid of karma, huge one. If people don't believe in karma of different lives or having different births, even if you don't believe in different births, you definitely would believe in the karma for this life in one birth as well. Is the process of getting rid of the karma. It's a huge topic, very interesting, fascinating topic. I'm taking a comment. When appropriate, could you please recommend some books on meditation? Thank you so much for your time and preparing this. Um, Extremely helpful. Thank you, Sharana. Um and Diana mentioned, can you briefly touch on how to get rid of karma through meditation? Okay, so first let me address the question that Sharana mentioned. Um, and that might be a little demotivating response from my side. Um, the way I look at things, the way I get information is not through reading books. So I don't read books. I don't try to get information on internet or um, try to know something from going to different classes or going through different courses, which is kind of an evidence of meditation working for you, because you are able to form that connection with the things beyond this physical world, not just with this physical world, but beyond that. And then you see the information coming to you. So Shana, I know you asked for books. I am not the right guy to ask for books because I don't read books at all the information that I share is the result of help I received during my meditation from some other world, if I put it that way. Let me move to the next question. How to get rid of karma? And when we say get rid of karma, are we assuming that we have some bad karma we should be getting rid of? The answer to your second question, Diana, yes. We are also assuming that we are getting rid of bad karma as well, or we have some bad karma. So, assumption of saying getting rid of karma or bad karma is not always because of bad karma, but proactively stopping going into tough situation, painful situation, painful experiences, circumstances around us. So I would say it is more of a proactive approach, while it also assumes at times that you might have done some bad deeds. How do we know? Unless you have gone back and seen. if you do meditation just to understand yourself, I can guarantee it will make you revisit all the things that you've done, and some of it would be something that you will probably kick yourself for by doing the way you did, or reacting the way you did, or saying the way you did. And that all is accounted for. Nothing goes waste. Karma we talk about at 3 levels: the action that we do, the things we say, intention behind that, and the thoughts we have. Not just because I'm not doing something but I'm thinking bad, I will not get karma. I will. And briefly, let me come to the first question, Diana. How do we get rid of karma? How does it happen? So when we meditate, there's something called fast tracking that happens. So we fast track the cycle of karma. That's one way. The second thing that happens is when we practice gratitude, when we go back, we are able to see something we did wrong by making amends, by asking for forgiveness. Like Ho'oponopono, what do we do actually in Ho'oponopono? We do the same thing, right? We make amends. You cut those strings that are holding you back. Someone who is holding a grudge on you, those things are something that gets or converted in some karma, some negative thing happening for you. That is why people say, or that is why all the religions say, don't hurt anyone. Try to be helpful, try to be of service. Even if you're not religious, it doesn't take for someone to be aware naturally. The voice that comes from you, when you do something bad, you somewhere a thought triggers and says, do you really want to do that? Do you think it is good? Even if you do that, it keeps asking you, are you happy? Do you think you did the right thing? So many times we are not able to understand or hear those voices. Taking another comment. Shrana, information will come to you. We'll look at some of the other practice. Shrana mentioned that I don't have information coming to me the way it comes to you. I procrastinate doing meditation. Hopefully, I'll receive information. You will receive information not just through this presentation. You will receive information from meditation. We'll go through some of that aspect little later on. I guarantee that. So coming back to what Diana was asking and kind of winding up this slide as well, is how to get rid of karma. So fast tracking is one of the things which we discussed. It fast tracks some of the things that happens to you, which means you have to be little aware of things happening to you. You going through, you seeing ups and downs in life. And again, does it mean? Let me address another question here. And thanks, Diana, for making me remind that question. Remember that question rather, because you asked for karma. Is people might ask, or question you might have is, so if I do meditation, it means it will fast track my old bad karma, and I will go through something. Yes and no. Yes, if you are able to go deeper. Yes. No, if you are not able to go that level, go to that level. If you are only able to understand certain things, you are only able to do on the physical uh, aspect, till the time you don't reach a deeper level, it does not start affecting you, your karma, fast tracking of karma. It does impact certain karmas. You will not even notice some of them. Like if you win a lottery for $10, you might not be really excited. But if you win a lottery for $1 million, I'm sure you'll be thrilled. Now imagine if you win a lottery for $1 trillion. You'll be ecstatic. How about $100 trillion? You really won't know what to do. You really won't know how to react. That is fast tracking as well. So the deeper you go, the faster you are able to track things or fast track the life cycle of karma. Okay, let me move forward from this slide. Okay, yeah, the final thing that I wanted to mention is, so when we come back to the objective of meditation, it is the mind body spirit connection, or spirit body mind spirit connection, if we call in the sequence, because we give more importance to physical world, then we think of mental world, and then we think of spiritual world or religion or God. Thanks, Diana, for thanking for the response. So meditation, the objective is your body mind spirit. That is something that happens when you do meditation. You get benefits on all three sides. It's a holistic approach, one of the most, or rather the holistic approach for everything in this universe.